So yeah, we're going to talk about reframing Wagyu for today's consumer. Also, I think what we do is just we're trying to make Wagyu approachable to everyone because, as we all know, it's not really there yet. As Christina said a bunch of times, people just kind of don't know what it is. They're scared of it, and we're going to kind of get all into that.
Special occasion beef.
Yeah,
which we're here to argue.
Yeah, I was definitely we're gonna come up with that. So why don't we introduce ourselves? We are the Meat Dudes. I'm Evan.
I'm Tyler.
Yes, and we own a couple restaurants in Seattle, a meat shop. We're actually opening up another bar. I don't know why we're doing this to ourselves, but we love Wagyu beef. So we basically got our first whole Wagyu beef during COVID because, as you know, restaurant owners, we got shut down for a couple months. And so we had to actually bring in a whole beef, and we have these big garage door windows, and we took this whole beef, we cut it up, and we sold it out of our garage door windows in like 2 hours, right?
Very quickly.
It was amazing. And we got to really try the whole animal, and that was really, it was kind of eye-opening. It was just, it just changed our perspective totally.
And to be honest with you, as a chef of 30 whatever years, before I got to experience everything that I have with Wagyu, I was a little bit afraid of it too, because you automatically, as a chef, being responsible for the bottom line, you're not going to buy that because it's too expensive. That's just ingrained in us, right?
Yes. But
also, as a chef, you are always looking for the very best product that you can afford. And now I can go to bat for every restaurant and be like, no, you can have way better beef and afford it. Just take the Pepsi challenge.
Absolutely. So I think, what we're about to talk about today is probably one of the biggest opportunities in Wagyu, but also it's one of the biggest problems. And that is that Wagyu is a spectrum, right? But the customer doesn't really know that. They have no idea. So, Wagyu, most people think of Wagyu what? You go out on the street and you're like, hey, what is Wagyu? And they're like,
it's really expensive beef.
It's A5, right? It's A5, it's $200 a steak, or it's fake, right? How many times have you guys heard that, right?
It's
American.
A gimmick. It's a
Wait
scam.
A second.
Right.
Yeah. So they don't know that there's full blood, there's purebred, there's F1 cross. It's raised in America. It's raised in South America. It's raised in Europe. It's raised in South Africa, everywhere. And they don't know that they can get it from $20 to $50 to $100 to $200, And so right off the bat, I feel like we're already kind of we've already lost them, because if they think that Wagyu is only the most extreme version of it, then, they're out.
Even when we were at CattleCon, and there for the American Wagyu Association and cooking all these gorgeous steaks, that was the first question that we would ask people that come into the booth, like, oh yeah, what do you know about Wagyu? And that was the number one answer was expensive.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Expensive, too fatty, pure white, and so I think what we have really tried to do and what we've seen is that we're talking to customers the wrong way, as an industry. And it's not because we don't care. It's because we know too much. We know so much about Wagyu, and we've been talking to each other all the time, and we use all the industry lingo. And then when somebody walks up, we kind of fire hose them, and they get a little taken aback, right?
Because we're passionate about
we
wanting these people to experience it.
Yeah,
but
we don't know why they don't like it.
I'm guilty of it because I want to tell them how good it is and taste it. Please try this. And they're like, whoa, dude, settle down, bro.
But, I think, the industry is small. It's moving fast. You guys are like building something totally incredible. And honestly, I think this happens with every new industry. And the average consumer, though, it's still, as we got to realize, it's super, super unfamiliar. So like if you go and you stand outside your grocery store and you ask 100 people, what is Wagyu? Like 90 of them are going to say what?
I don't know.
Too fatty, from Japan. I heard it's fake. It's not worth it. My neighbor brought it and we tried it and we didn't like it. Like you guys have heard it all, right? That's kind of like the reality of it that we're already starting from behind, and I hate that. And so I love this example that says, talking about industry experts all the time and how we talk to people. This is from our restaurant. This is our drink menu here.
This is a little embarrassing.
It is. So our partner, Sarah, she's like the cocktail and whiskey wizard. So she has all these different cocktail specials. So check this out. I want to see if you guys like this cocktail here. So this is the rum barbarella. So in this cocktail, the rum barbarella, there's gin, there's Chamberzetti strawberry aperitif, Amontillado sherry, Charroux aloe liqueur, rhubarb, lime, and soda. Does that sound good to everybody?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know.
Right? And so what we're saying is at the bottom here, it says a refreshing a refreshing tart highball.
Well, that sounds good.
That sounds a little bit different, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right. And so to me, like that's how we got to kind of start talking to people with Wagyu, right? We can't fireball them with just all this craziness like our old bartender buddy.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my God, bro,
Good
that guy would come in and
go into the bar to get a Coors Light, and he was just like, "Oh, you should see what we do with all these cocktails." And it's like, some of them would just get up and walk out. Like
we're scaring.
They don't
scaring
have
the
Coors
people.
Light, apparently.
Yeah, we're scaring the people. So like that's kind of the difference, and like to me, like that's like the whole game is that we've been speaking like experts to each other for so long because we haven't had to speak to the customer yet. And as we know, the industry is moving. It is so B2C right now, and even restaurants. And we don't just have to educate the consumer. We got to educate the chefs. Maybe not this guy, but
for sure.
But like how many Chateaubriands come with a cow?
2.
Yeah, right. So that the cow's not made up of all ribeyes.
The whole cow is not 50 Chateaubriands. Right?
Dude, so it's crazy. So we're always talking about education. That's what we're really trying to do is just like land that point and have people understand that we have to speak a little bit differently. We can't just speak like experts anymore when we're talking to the people. So
and on this mission, opening the butcher shop, and it's not huge. It's a 8-foot torpedo. Probably 200, 300 pounds of meat a week, which for us is decent. But the people that come in, I've had to slow myself down and just be like, what's your go-to steak? And they're like, ribeye. I'm like, cool. Why? It's fatty and delicious. And I'm like, well, let me tell you something about fatty and delicious, and you don't have to spend $35 on this steak.
Tried this.
I've got all of this stuff for like 18, 12, sometimes even $12.
Yeah.
And once I get them to actually believe me and know that I'm not trying to sell them a fancy used car, that's winning. And then when they come back the next time, they're like, oh my God, that was so delicious. It was better than that prime rib I had last week. I was like, told you.
Yeah, right. You're selling $12 Wagyu steaks? Man,
seriously,
that's nice. That'll open up some,
and still making a little bit of money.
Yeah, well, let's go. So we got to realize like everybody in this room when it comes to Wagyu, if we're talking 1 to 10, we're all 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And Jerry's probably in 11,
12.
But our customers are 1, 2s, and 3s. And so if they, I always use like myself as an example. Like I talked to probably over 100 ranches the last year. like actual like nice long conversations, learning about the ranch, and sometimes
you get lost.
I'm like, oh God, I try to keep up. And, and I get it. Like we'll start talking about genetics and EBVs and feeding programs and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if I'm not following you, then like Joe and Nancy who go to the supermarket every single day have no idea what the heck we're talking about with Wagyu. So, like this is when you're like training like a new like cook or a chef or somebody like that, and you have a recipe, or you're training like a layman, how do you do it?
I have 1, 2, 3 brand new cooks, and I can pull out all these fancy cookbooks from super chefs around the world, really. Mm-hmm. And being that I've done it for so many years, I can flip it open. I understand the techniques, I understand the methodology, I understand everything about it that they don't at all, but they want to learn it. And so basically how I break it down, I was like, don't look at the recipe. Don't look at the amounts. Look at the flavor profile. Like this recipe has fennel and orange. Those are delicious together. This has tomato and cucumbers. Those are delicious together. And teaching them the basic knowledge of flavor profile before they get to be super chefs and can actually know what it means to poêle a steak for 2 minutes and toss it in the oven, finish roasting it, test the internal temp, blah, blah, blah.
Ease them in. Man.
Ease them in. But the beauty is like on the same consumer side is like those 3 cooks are going to come back the next day and have their own idea of how to make tomato basil taste better than just tomato basil. Mm-hmm. So it's like totally. And you see the light in their eyes, And that's the same thing with when we sell somebody a Wagyu steak, they come back and it's like the light has been turned on.
Yeah.
Right?
Now we can start to
like, cool.
add a little bit more.
Gotcha. Come on. What's
No.
next?
One of my favorite things is when I'm talking to people or I hear them say that like, hey, this animal's been on feed for 300 days, you know, and it's like Christina, do you know what that means?
No.
I was like, oh, doesn't that mean don't they have to eat every day?
So it
Like,
eats there. So
what
it's
does that
been
mean?
alive for 300.
Are they 300 days old? Like the consumer, right, has no idea like what that actually means. And I think, as you said, only 2% of people like really work in agriculture, like directly with the farm, and the other 98% have no idea like where their meat comes from, where their food comes from. And you know, oh man, I get this too. Like we're trying to be as positive as we can about Wagyu and really try to educate people. And I saw this the other day on one of our posts that, you know, I posted like Wagyu is amazing, Wagyu is great, all Wagyu is great, and I kind of talked about everything. And I mentioned that it was a breed, and somebody said Wagyu is not a breed. And I was like, okay. Well, like I'm not like posting this in like the Wagyu Breeders Club and like all of that, like Wagyu Expert Club. We're posting it for the general public, so we could say yes, it's not technically a breed. It means Japanese cow. There's 4 breeds. Blah, blah, blah. But what are we doing? Like we're just confusing the heck out of people, right? At that point, like we need to like ease them in a little bit. Is really what we're saying, and keeping it positive. And that's kind of what we're all about. Like that's like the platform I think that we're trying to build, is to take everything that you guys know and be able to disseminate it to the general public in a way that they understand, and help everybody try to disseminate it to the general public a little bit easier, a little bit better, because we are customer facing like all the time. I think I missed a slide. Sorry. So I think we talk about this a lot, but like I bring this up because I've kind of seen it before. With I was in the cannabis industry. I don't know if you know that. In 2007,
I still do.
No, in 2007, I was making magazines in the cannabis industry, and this was 4 years before it was legalized anywhere. And I saw, you know, I would travel up and down Western Washington, and I go to all the different dispensaries, and I would talk to people and see what they're saying and how they're selling it and what their product's about. And it reminds me so much of Wagyu, because people were so passionate. They're crying. You know, I'm talking to people on the phone like some of you guys, and people are in tears because they love this product so much, and they want everybody to be able to experience it. They want to find ways that people can experience it. And it was the same with cannabis. But I would watch like somebody behind the counter, and they would say, oh, this THC, CBD, CBN, CBC, terpene profile. And I'd watch the customer go like, what are we talking about, man? You know, and
I just want a bong hit, bro.
And well, I think about like my mom. You know, if my mom walked into a cannabis store, like what would she want? Like she's already on the defensive because she's been told that cannabis is bad, it's a drug, it's illegal. And I look at that as the same as Wagyu. People walk into a butcher shop and they're looking at Wagyu and they're like, hold on, that's fake, that's expensive.
Look at where the cannabis industry is today, and it's like your mom or your grandmother is like, I'm having trouble sleeping, and they get a CBD gummy or something like that. It's like that mainstream, and they aren't scared of it anymore. It's like kind of regular.
And you know why? Is because I was telling a lot of the people behind the counter, I was saying like, let's stop fire hosing them, stop giving them a science lesson every time they walk up, and let's just tell them like, hey mom, you know what? This is going to take away your body pain, and it's not going to make your head feel high. And she's like, oh, okay. And now she takes a CBD gummy.
Sounds great.
Every night, you know? So like, you know, to me, like that's kind of the difference is I look at that industry a lot, and now it's become mainstream because of how they started to talk about it. And I want to see that with Wagyu. And to me, it's not about dumbing it down. Like I don't want everybody to think that, oh, we need to dumb it down for everybody, but we just need to translate it.
Yeah.
Like we have to do a better job, I think, translating what it means, what Wagyu means. And a couple of ways to do that is really just talking about, you know, the flavor and texture first, right?
Absolutely.
What does it taste like?
The proof is in the pudding. I mean, if you're a steak eater, regular steak eater all the time, and you do actually believe like, hey, I'm not selling you anything, try this, tell me what you think. And they come back like, oh my God. I'm like, I know, oh my God. Tell everybody else, oh my God.
Right?
Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have to lead with it's rich, it's buttery, it's incredibly tender, it's balanced. And I mean, how many times we're cooking up and we're shooting some new videos, we're cooking it up and we have our first bite and we're like,
dude.
God,
it never changes.
It's
expression
so good.
might change, my verbiage might change, but that experience to me is like, as a chef and a professional cook, being able to taste some of the best beef that's raised in this country
Absolutely.
on our back patio.
Yep.
With one little burner and blow your mind.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And we have to make it feel easy and let them know it's really hard to mess up cooking Wagyu. It's actually very good from 120 degrees to 140 degrees, or medium rare to medium well, right? We need to talk about the price early. It's not just, it's $20 to $200. And to me, a lot of times I think of like the people who love meat versus the people who like meat. And the people who love meat are going to buy those $200 tomahawk ribeye. They're going to love it, right? But we need to get the people who like meat to start buying the $20, Denvers and the Zabutons and the Terrace Majors and the Bobettes and all those fun ones, right? And we need to keep it simple by saying, hey, this has more marbling, just like you've been told with prime beef your whole life, right? More marbling is more flavor. Well, look at this. This is like prime.
This is super prime.
This is ultra prime. This is nice prime.
Why not drive a Lamborghini and get rid of your Fiat, right?
No. Oh man. And so not to lead with those $200 steaks. I see that a lot too on social media. We're showing all of these big tomahawks, and I saw something the other day that was like $3,200. It's the most expensive steak, and I'm like, dude, that's not helping.
It does not help at all.
That's turning people away.
I told you.
That is not good. But I think, as Christina said too, like the story matters as well. So when we're talking to these people, we want them to know that you're regular people that are raising Wagyu beef, and you're just ranchers, and we're telling that story. And that's really why we kind of started the podcast, is we could actually talk to you guys and get those that story out there, so people could understand that it's not scary. It's not some big crazy rich guy up in the clouds going, hey, yeah, we're making the price for Wagyu here.
Look where we are. Right?
Yeah.
I love this. This is the best for me as a young chef coming up, like actually being able to experience this and see the animals and go to a farm and meet the producers, hear the story. Can't wait to hear Jerry's story. That is so inspirational as a food enthusiast and a chef. Like, it's now my job to tell everybody else about that, just for Wagyu beef.
Rough life.
It's a tough job.
I love it. So we kind of mentioned this, but starting with those gateway cuts is what we call. That's another great way to just get people, let's get them in the circle before we start, showing them the really crazy stuff.
I'll sell them a prime ribeye, and I'll give them a 4-ounce piece of flat iron. Be like, while you're cooking that ribeye, just try that. Just try it. No, take it. It's on me.
I mean, that's, like the Zabs, the Denvers, the Flatirons, the Terrace Majors, the Bovettes we talked about, picanhas, the ranch steaks even.
Tri-tip.
Oh, the tri-tip, that's your favorite, man. Because those are affordable, they're easy, they're less intimidating. So starting with a lot of those cuts is how, we can start making Wagyu a little bit more approachable.
I think, honestly, the second question when people are asking us, like, what is Wagyu? And we try to explain it to them, they're like, well, how do I cook it?
Yeah. Oh, it's
like meat. Like a steak in a pan.
We don't know why that.
The one thing that's, for those of them that are scared, Wagyu's actually more forgiving, because if you walk away from the stove and accidentally overcook your flat iron a little bit, it's got so much great intermuscular fat. It's still gonna be tender. It's still gonna be juicy. It's still gonna be flavorful.
So good.
And that's gonna like change their perspective. Like, oh, that wasn't too bad, and I overcooked it. This is cool.
Exactly. And we talk about the Hollywood cuts, right? What percentage is the Hollywood cuts, the tenderloins, the ribeyes, and the New York strips?
Dr. Bass, where's Dr. Bass? I believe that's 8 to 9% of an entire carcass is the New York ribeye tenderloin. Yeah. And that's basically for the common consumer. Those are 3 cuts people really know. And they're like, well, my mom cooked flank steak the other day. It was pretty good. Like, cool, there's a lot more than just a flank steak.
There's even more. Check it out. Yeah, and so, instead of talking always about these premium Wagyu ribeyes, we like to talk about the incredible Wagyu steaks you can find for under $35 or $40. Because like I said, once they're in that community, it's only game up from there. Really, to me, it's like we're not just selling beef, right? We're trying to take the hesitation out of selling Wagyu and cooking Wagyu. And there's so much hesitation, as we know right now. And we got to make it clear, safe, and worth it to actually, make them feel like it's clear, safe, and worth it, not just like it's something crazy.
And I'm not going to get into the nutritional aspects.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Shut that
a little
down.
bit scared. Right
Shut
now.
that one down, right? I know. And I do on the nutritional. I do wish somebody would kind of gather all that up.
I don't know
and
why
then
it's
just
not
be
there
like,
yet.
Here
Yeah.
we go, because there are some good things being
Definitely.
said. So I don't want to get into it though. Yeah, she's gonna shut us down.
She's going to shut us down.
So I think this is where we really come in, and this is kind of our new project that we wanted to share with everybody. Is this Meat Dudes approved map? And what we want to do is highlight ranches all over the U.S. that are verified by the American Wagyu Association or the Australian or the Akushi, but have some verification, and then approved by the Meat Dudes, where they ship us the beef and we actually get to cook it, and
Which
eat it.
means we get to eat a lot of really good meat
We do.
for free.
That's a good thing too. But it for us really, it's about. I mean, how many times do you hear this, right? That people don't trust what they're buying, they don't understand what they're buying, they don't know how to cook it, and so that's really what we want to do with this map here. Is showcase that there's great ranches all over the U.S. They're all verified. This is the family that runs them.
It's also an introduction to the family, to the ranch, to the
Totally.
story.
Yes,
That's all part of it. How their all of their standards of how they raise their animals and
what
like,
they're feeding them. Yeah, so we can actually tell people what it tastes like, and find these different nuances, because we talk about Wagyu having, or beef in general, having a lot of terroir. You can taste that terroir in Wagyu.
and that might sound like some hogwash to some of you, for real. I mean,
Kind of
I
sounds
wasn't
a little
going to
fancy.
be, I was like, sure, you can taste different wines from Chile and Washington or whatever, and definitely taste those different varietals, taste the terroir, taste the temperature, whatever. It's not too different. It really isn't. And it actually blew my mind, like, tasting what we did have: Kansas, Florida so far,
Georgia, Indiana,
think
California.
about the weather, how long grasses grow. Like, we're going to be up on a dry season here pretty soon. Florida has grass growing all year long, and you can taste it. Honestly, you can taste it.
No, yeah.
So we have those flavor profiles. Once we get to try out the meat, talk about the stories, then we upload the flavor profiles. Like, oh my God, this was so consistent. It was creamy. It was silky. It was taste the corn, the grain, like whatever. Yeah. It's mind blowing to me to be able to taste all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's wild. And I think, it's connecting consumers. We're basically trying to create a trusted source where people can buy Wagyu beef. So they go there, they know that it's been verified. They see the videos of us cooking the beef, of Chef Tyler cooking all this beef and exactly how to cook it. We got a little timer up in the corner. And it's really cool because, we're going to take that fear away of how to cook it, because that is the only thing that we hear every single time. And now we can actually just share it and go, here, this is how we cook ours ribeye, So when they sell a ribeye, they can just send them that video.
Yep.
And they can take the guesswork out of it.
And say you're from Boston and you're coming for this event, you can click on, oh, there's Bar R. Oh, click there. Ship you the meat. Get it directly to you. And I think it's going to be pretty user friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, we get to talk to the ranchers, we get to understand their program, we get to test the beef ourselves. And to me, it's not like this lab tested, but it's chef driven, it's real cooking, it's real eating. And I think that's what Wagyu needs. They need some like that realness to it, where people can kind of like associate and understand and go, oh wow, he just cooked that New York strip in like 5 minutes on a flat top. Okay, well,
and we're
I could do it.
literally setting up tables.
Oh yeah,
with little clicker burners. I got a grill.
So easy.
Fire up the smoker. It's not in a fancy restaurant.
Mm-mm.
Because that's the association with Wagyu. It's like, oh, I can only get that at fancy restaurants. Like, no, you can buy this product and you can cook it outside in your backyard just like you do everything else. It's not that fancy experience all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It takes 6-7 minutes to cook it in a pan, and all of a sudden we got some amazing Wagyu. So we're trying to make that connection with the consumer. So when they go to the site, like I said, they know that it's actually real, because that's another thing, right? Oh, Wagyu isn't real. What the heck? And then a lot of times too, I'm sure you guys, I've seen this. I've gone on Facebook and clicked, hey, let me check out this Wagyu, and then it sends me to some page to buy it, and I'm like, where's the ranch at? where is the ranch at? I don't know where the ranch is.
Yeah, it's coming from a
Doesn't say
warehouse.
where the ranch is. Yeah. So like this, we want to really highlight the ranches, highlight the people, highlight the cooking, and make it very just trustworthy and just take that fear totally out and make it approachable. Like that's all we're trying to do, man.
And we're also all in business, right? We're still doing business.
Yeah.
So this is hopefully we're helping all of these ranchers sell more of their product.
Absolutely.
Get it out there. That's basically really what we want to do is, of course, promote the meat dudes and what we're doing, but really holistically, this is about the ranchers and the work that you guys are doing.
Direct to consumer.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's really the way of the future, like direct to consumer. People understanding who the rancher is, ordering straight from them, and then getting good quality beef.
Totally.
That's really all we're trying to do. That might be my last one. But, I think, Wagyu is growing so fast as we've seen it. And you guys are just pushing it forward like crazy. And we just don't want the customer to be a little bit left behind. So we got to slow down with how we talk so we can bring them along. Otherwise, we're going to limit how much we can actually sell because, if we don't simplify it, I think we limit it. And if we make it approachable, as we know, like once they have it, man,
We know it.
they ain't ever going back.
Never.
Never going back. Never going back. So
I'm actually moving in here.
yes, I was. Do you guys have any questions? Let's open up some questions.
Sure.
Nobody's got any meat questions, huh?
Okay. What do you got?
Balanced.
Balance.
I mean, because there's so many different, so many different types, right? There's the F1 cross, the purebred, the full blood, the A5. So it can be balanced. We've had sweet. That's whenever I ask a rancher, they always say it's kind of sweet. Like my beef tastes sweet, just a hint of it. We can taste the terroir. We're having some from Georgia. We're having some from LA. And there's, this is barley finished. This is corn. This is alfalfa.
it still tastes like
Still tastes
beef
beefy.
driven.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
always beef driven, but there's so many nuances in the intermuscular fat, right?
Oh my gosh.
From its feed, from its diet, how it was raised,
It's really interesting.
stress-free life.
Well, it's interesting to see, like, we'll do about 2 a week, and we'll do, like, last week I think we did Georgia and Indiana, I believe, and just trying those two like back to back. Like we just finished this bavette here, and this New York strip is Reston. So we'll try the bavette, and we can really pull out those flavor notes from Georgia, and then go over here to Indiana, and it's totally different. And I know it's a different cut, but you'd think that it would taste like beef, right? Everyone just tastes like beef. Like it's
And
just
it
good
does.
beef.
And it does. It's still beef, but
there's more.
there's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so many nuances to it from ranch to ranch. It's
Yeah.
kind of mind blowing, honestly.
Yeah, creamy was definitely
Creamy
the,
was one of
that
them.
was definitely the
Silky,
yeah.
buttery.
God, so good.
Buttery.
We know buttery. I mean, that's
So
just
good.
like, come on,
It's so
man.
good.
That's just so damn good. Oh, over here. Yeah.
As a culinary professional, it was more or less a treat one time from a chef I worked for, and it was probably like a New Year's Eve or something. And he brought some. It's the first time I tried A5, and I was like, "Holy shit! what is this?" And that sort of just kind of opened the floodstream for me, and then I started looking into not just A5 and sort of getting to where we were. We've been business partners for seven plus years. And when we got products from Jerry and Magnolia.
It was Magnolia Farms. Was the first
Magnolia
one.
Farms, we got, we're no longer doing it anymore. And they only had like 2 carcasses a year or something.
Maybe.
Very, very small production. But it was literally 17 miles from our restaurant. Uber local.
Yeah.
And we bought we bought a whole animal
Mm-hmm.
and got to taste it all then, and that was it. That was the changing point. So literally 5 years ago,
5-6 years ago, and I think since then we, like me personally, I was like, man, I want to read about it. I want to listen to it.
Right.
I want to hear about it. And we couldn't find any podcasts. There weren't a ton of podcasts that were doing it. And so that's where we got the idea. Like, let's just start calling ranchers and just asking them and talking to them and learning about it and learning from Jerry and Arlie. And I think since then we've probably talked to a few hundred ranchers all over the U.S.
Right.
Just trying to really dive deep in and figure out what they do and why they do it. And I think that's really been like one of the biggest. That's the coolest experience.
We love the education. We love the stories. We love all the back notes of how did Jerry start? That blows my mind. And getting to talk to all these people and hear a bunch of different stories and where they are today and how they got there is kind of the answer to the same question. It's so much fun to be able to, one, get to eat this product, taste this product, but the story and get to know these people and really ultimately help them grow their businesses even more if we can.
Because it hasn't really been documented as well as like that's what we want to try to do is start to try to document a lot of this so people understand what it is and who's behind it. Yeah, Marvin. Yeah, I bet. Okay. Really?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm an F1 guy. If I got to be honest with you, because I want to eat a lot. I want to eat a big steak. And Jerry, I love you, but sometimes I can't finish a whole full blood ribeye. I'm just like, I really want to, but it's really hard. So all the ones that we've tasted that we're like trying to put on our map, they have been we've had some purebreds.
They've been all over.
Yeah, we've been all
F2s,
over. F2,
F1.
F1 and full blood.
The first
full
one we
blood.
did
So
was Kansas F1.
We've tasted a lot comparison difference. And really we're trying to break down for our consumer, like what is it that they like, like how much do you eat at one time? How many people are you trying to feed? Because that breaks it down a lot more for us to where I can sell them something that they're going to be happy about, affordable, return customers and that kind of thing. And trust me.
Yeah. I think the F1s too. I mean, we've seen some that look more marbled, right, than a full blood. So there's that crossover too.
Although I could probably eat a full blood Chateaubriand, no problem.
Yes,
no problem.
But dude, it's all about flavor too. That's something we don't. We want to touch on even more. It's it's not just the marbling, right? It's the flavor. Like, how does that taste? Is it beefier? Do they like that? So
right.
That's a big thing. It's not just the marbling.
To be honest, some people that come in like, yeah, it was really good, but it was a little too fatty. I was like, well, that was a purebred, so let's try this F1 cross and see. And eventually, we just find that spectrum for all our customers.
Yeah,
it's a huge spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, we'll go here. Gosh, I mean, we're with the map. We're logging everything. So we log what they give us, how it tastes, where it's from, what it's being fed, because we want to kind of create our own guidebook that we can say, oh, this Georgia, pasture raised corn finish tastes different than this LA alfalfa finished versus this Florida grass fed. So yeah,
we're documenting. Every ranch that we do, we're documenting the flavor profiles of all the meat that we taste and what cuts they are. So that's kind of a beginning for us.
But you're asking, like, are we documenting what the customers are asking? Gosh, not yet. It's just collectively, not like taking down everybody's, forums or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we get a lot of customers in. We talk to a lot of different people from all over, and just trying to get the overall of what people are thinking, what people are wanting, how people look at it, how they react to it. But yeah, that's something that probably in the future.
I've got this idea to have at the little meat shop to have passports and have like shoulder, center, abdominal, and I want people to come in and be like, so what'd you have last time? And they flip open their passports like, oh, I had a bavette or I had a flank steak or a skirt. I was like, cool, let's go with the shoulder. Let's try the Terrace Major, try a Zabaton, try something else. So then people, ultimately, after they fill their whole passport, we give it a stamp and they get to shake Jerry's hand or something,
We'll be able to
But
document too after.
that way we can have that documentation. They'll be like, "Oh my god!" And then that person that went through the whole, primals of an animal, they're like, huh, "I'm a shoulder guy.
Would you like? Yeah, but also like with the map, we'll be able to document a lot of that and see what people are buying and get all that data. Yeah, absolutely. So there's another question. Yep. Oh. Mm-hmm. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, we talk about it like wine a lot. We try to use that example a lot, but it's true, and that's what I think with the map especially is showcasing where it's from, so people understand that this is how it's grown, how it's raised, who's doing it, instead of just walking to your grocery store, because I think a lot of people have that fear when they walk into a grocery store. If you know anything about meat, you're kind of a little sketchy, looking in the grocery store. But we do have to just keep educating people about Wagyu, like we keep saying, because people just, yeah, they have their suspicions all the time, and I just think I'm trailing off, but it's tough. And it's such a young industry that we have to just keep doing what we're doing. We have to keep pounding it into their brains, and to understand what this is, because they don't know. They just have no idea.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like grass fed is kind of one of those organic fads, to be honest, right now, because of what people are, the misconception of is, oh, I saw it on the news, it's better for you. Like, my mother-in-law used to only buy organic vegetables, and she wouldn't buy any other vegetables because, well, she read a study.
Yeah,
And like,
right.
yeah, that's probably not entirely true.
Yeah.
Is there, your question was 1 out of 100 people ask about grass fed. I would say in our small circle, 20%,
Maybe even less.
maybe even less.
Just because we're so big on Wagyu, and so we kind of collect those people as well. They're starting to kind of follow us and come over to us, but people still ask for it, and they ask for grass-fed Wagyu too.
And a lot of times
Yeah.
we answer, do you mean pasture raised or grass fed? And they're like, what's the difference?
Or grass finished.
Grass finished. It's like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe it'll be on the news tomorrow. We can talk about it later. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a flavor thing. It's we've had great grass-fed Wagyu as well.
Absolutely.
We've had it both, and we always talk to our buddy Andrew from River Valley Wagyu, and he always says, he's like, I love all beef, but this is maybe just a beef for a different day of the week. So I like that approach. Is like, yeah, maybe I don't want a full blood ribeye tip. I want this grass fed New York strip. Wagyu New York strip could be full blood, still going to be nicely marbled, but it's going to look more on that prime side. But yeah, we get asked for it a bit. Yeah, not crazy, but yeah, people are still curious.
Mm-hmm.
I read a study.
Yep. Totally.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
probably is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's grass
They're
fed.
grass fed. Yes.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah. Totally. That's what we say that too a lot.
We're trying to get to them wanting to go to the finishing school.
Yeah, we say that a lot. That we always talk about how it's grass is they're usually pasture raised for 70-80% of their lives. So yeah, they have a lot of grass. They eat grass. Cows eat grass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah. Certified Angus beef has done a great job. Everybody knows what that is, right? And you go out and you see it in the grocery stores, and you're like, "Oh, that looks great." Right?
Totally.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Right.
Of the
Mhm.
Wagyu. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Right. You know, you're totally right. Yeah. Yeah. The authentic Wagyu. Yeah. Yeah. There's a program, and it's just going to take a lot of education because it is still new, right? It is a young industry, even though Jerry's been doing it since the '90s, but it's still like super young as far as the general public knows. They still have no idea.
And basically, what Floyd said is how Angus has been so marketable, and that's exactly what we're trying to do is make this more marketable, more approachable.
Approachable.
And I think we'll get there. I really do.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
think so.
Trying to take those steps and really trying to take what you guys know and like I said, take that in and be able to speak to the customer. Like we've learned so much about Wagyu. I mean, 5 years ago, if you would ask me about Wagyu, I would have been like, I don't know. I would have said the same things, as what we've been saying, right? I think it's from Japan.
Right. And I still basically ask Jerry, what's that cow's name? I don't need to know all the other information
Them
because
genetics.
go right over my head,
I
man.
know. You guys start rolling out these different numbers, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. I'm not there.
There's only one for me, buddy. 30 T.
That's it.
Cupcake.
Cupcake. That's right. Oh, we got a question back there. Hmm.
To be honest with you, I haven't eaten a ton of it.
Yeah, we don't go for it as much. There are good ranches over there for sure. What we like about American though is that it's very boutiquey, and I think that's kind of what we stick with, and that's what we're really trying to showcase to people. Is that I think Australia they got a lot of land out there, and they can raise some really great consistent Wagyu. But I think when you look at the U.S., I think it's so different everywhere, and I think everybody can find their own flavor profile, and that's kind of what we're really pushing for. So
Is there any Australians in here?
that was my very PC answer.
All right, so the steaks I've tried, I haven't really liked them as much as the steaks over here. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
I
Go
know.
ahead.
We should have asked that first. Yeah, good one.
That's right. That's the honest
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. There's some
Yeah,
different flavor
you're
to
right.
it. Yeah, and sometimes I guess I don't like the terroir.
Yes, Jerry. You're right. Right. Mm-hmm. It's flavor. Mm.
Okay.
Right.
Hmm. That's
Right.
totally, and that's why you see it out in the grocery stores too. It's that first light Wagyu, and you're like, what is this? really Wagyu?
Mhm.
You know, but yeah, they're great at exporting. They're great at marketing and putting it out there. But I think that's what we got to do better. I think as the American Wagyu is really just, make it approachable and showcase the boutiquiness and the difference between, the terroirs.
Because ultimately, I would much rather eat a steak, not just because it's bar R, but I live here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The localness. Yeah.
definitely want a steak that I know the people. I can
Mm-hmm.
drive to the ranch. Like, literally, that's one of my favorite things to do.
That's why we got the first original Wagyu. We're like, that's 17 miles from our restaurant. Let's
Right.
bring that in.
As
Let's try
local
it.
as it can be. Funny story. That was during the farmers market. That's every Sunday on the street right in front of our restaurant.
Yeah.
And there was a woman. I'm not going to tell you the name of the farm, but her farm was like 300 miles away from the restaurant.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't believe you would do this. I'm trying to sell my beef, and you need to support more local farmers. And I was like, you can stop right there. Where's your farm? Well, it's over the mountains over there, 300. Like, cool. So this came from 17 miles that way. So shut up.
Hey, we pay taxes on the street, so
Yeah, right.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, they are. That's
cool.
great.
Good. Oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're super boutiquey and small. I'd be interested to try them out
Beautiful,
again.
beautiful product.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that blew our minds. Any more beef questions on here? Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. I think to properly answer that question, if it were asked, would be like, what are you comparing it to? Like, what do you like? Well, I only eat prime New York strips. I'm like, okay, well, prime New York strip is going to be on the Marvel scale of like what?
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
But still, I don't think anybody knows the beef marbling scale. I think we could ask everybody in here, and we'd all say that prime is maybe something different. I've heard that it's 3. I've heard that it's 6. I've heard that it's 8.
Right.
So I don't know if we have that total, scale in the
But
general public.
we would love that
know.
question to be asked, because that means that
Yeah.
we're doing our job.
Yeah.
You guys
Totally.
are doing your jobs. We're trying to help, and people are like, well, I read the study on BMS, and like, tell me about the
Whoa.
differences between an F1 cross and the purebred.
Oh,
Like,
man.
sweet.
I love that. When they walk up,
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah, let's go.
take a seat.
Like, what's the difference between a purebred? Oh, how much
man.
time do you have?
I love it. Oh, cool. Oh, got another one.
Not enough time in the day yet, buddy.
We'll eat anything, but
I don't myself, but it is on my radar, and I love to make jerky. But these guys, they're blowing out of the park. Those meat
Yeah.
sticks are awesome.
I think
Really good.
there's so much great jerky and meat sticks coming out that we want to taste them all and showcase them all, because I think that's like a great snack, like you said, and so yeah, we'll eat them, but yeah, we
Don't not send them to us.
yeah. Put some in the car. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Jeez.